I kept like having this feeling like, oh, this, if I'm not getting my degree, this was such a waste of my time. You can't spread yourself too thin. You gotta give yourself grace. It was so important to have such a supporting circle of people after losing my mom.
But just understand some days like your 100% could look like 20% or 50%. You know what I mean? It's a hard pill to swallow, but life is not going to stop for no one. Hey everyone, welcome to the Highest Version Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Philivong, and on this podcast, we talk about falling in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Today's guest is Jackon Kupferschmid, a man of faith who has gone through his own mental health journeys, from dealing with the loss of his mom at an early age and going to therapy for his OCD. This man truly is a just positive beam of light, and I've had the great opportunity to talk to him before today. So without further ado, let's unpack his story and how he's going to help us become 1% better every day and the highest version of ourselves. Let's welcome our guest, Jackon. What's up, man?
What's up, Randy? How you
doing? Thank you so much. I know you're from my hometown, so thank you for making the trip. I appreciate it so much. I know dealing with Massachusetts drivers can be quite hectic sometimes, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, bro.
Yeah, no, I just really appreciate our conversation like before, and you know how we really got to know each other through like our own struggles, and I'm happy that you're here to really share it to the world so that it can help someone else.
Yeah, dude. I'm with it.
All right, man. So I'm going to get into the featured Funko Pop of the episode. And the Funko Pop I chose for you is Captain America. And the reason why I chose Captain America is a man of faith himself. He's very, passionate about, what he believes in and his values. His values are very strong. And after talking with you, like, that's like no hiding about how much you are committed to, your own values and how strong they are. But Captain America is also very strong-willed, and for a man also that is well-built like yourself, Captain America is well-built. So there's no doubt about that. I feel like the values and how you guys approach life is the same, and you just want to spread positivity and good to the world. So yeah, I want to get your reflections and just my comparisons of you to Captain America here.
Yeah, no, I love that comparison. I love the depth to that answer. I think like you said, Captain America has a super strong moral code, and not to get into all the Marvel things because I know a lot of people don't watch it, but at one point his moral code caused them to have like a civil war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always loved Steve Rogers, the character of Captain America, and it's an honor to be that he represents me in a little way, or I represent him.
Yeah. Well, no, it's definitely the other way around. It could be the other way around.
Could be. And
no, when I heard your favorite superhero was Spider-Man, I was actually super excited because I'm a Marvel cinematic universe. Well, Marvel nerd also in general too. So when you're mentioning like Civil War and all that stuff, I'm like, I get all giddy, like, cause I'm just like, yeah, dude. But I've been really, I haven't been the best fan, I have to admit, as of late, but trying to get back into it.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, man. I think that a good question. This is a question I always start with my guests, and I think it's really important that we don't ask often. How is your mental health nowadays,
dude? That's a good question. My mental health, as of late, is really good. I've
love to hear that.
I've found my stride in these past few summer months, and I think it's easy in the summer for me to have good mental health. I think, I don't know, the weather's good, and my friends are around, which is huge. You don't have the stress of school. Just, I don't know, I feel like I have a lot of freedom in what I'm doing, and there's nothing like the summer, bro. And ever since I got home from school, just things have been happening, bro. Good things,
Mm-hmm.
good things. I feel just blessings just being poured on me lately. One being like a future direction to go in. I'm looking to become a personal trainer and getting my certification through that.
Wonderful, yeah.
So super excited about that, and it's just nice to have something to work towards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You wake up and you have something to do today.
Yeah.
It gives me purpose and drive. And also I have a new relationship. I'm in a new relationship.
Class for that.
Yes,
Beautiful.
bro.
We love
Yes,
the new
bro.
we love the new relationships.
Yeah, can't stop smiling about it. Can't stop talking about it. So but yeah, she's wonderful, and she's just more than I could ever dream of. So yeah, super excited about that.
That's so sweet, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Someone's cutting onions on the other side of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I'm happy to hear that. And I know, we're going to dive into a little bit, but, you're helping us all become a little bit of Steve Rogers physically and mentally.
Thanks, bro.
So yeah, let's talk about that. I know you have your own unique journey with school, and
yeah.
Talk to us about the event that happened and just those initial thoughts and negativity that you were kind of going through at that time.
Yeah, for sure. So I was going to school. I was studying psychology. I was going to school in New Hampshire, and I was in my senior year. Still not really sure what I was doing with my psychology degree. I was aware that in order to have real flexibility within the field of psychology, you have to get your graduate's degree. You got to go, or master. You got to go to master's or get your master's degree. And I didn't really want to do that. I was like, school, this has been fun, but
there's a time limit, please.
There's been 16 years of this, ready to kind of use this knowledge to put it in the world, and so, senior year comes along, right? I'm still not sure what to do with this degree. And I have this capstone project. It's a thesis project. So big, minimum of a 20-page paper about any psychological topic. So initially I think that the prompt for this project was just super overwhelming to me. No structure. You can do whatever you want. And that was hard for me. Like, sometimes I need those guides,
right? Yeah.
And that made me struggle, and I really struggled with this project. I wanted it to be really good. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I wanted it to be new and innovative and adding to the field of psychology. And I was just stumped. Like, I would read all these scholarly articles, like 10 of them each day, and I would take notes. And then I would do that for a week and look at this document. It's a document of notes full, 20 pages of notes. And I don't know what to do with all that.
Yeah.
Like, how do I organize all that into a concise, paper? Because like, if you look at these scholarly articles and what they wanted me to replicate in this project, it's a lot of like, it's very straightforward and like jargon. Like, it's not like you're free writing, you know? You're not just like ranting or talking. It's very like, every sentence needs to be well thought out, you don't want to add too much detail,
but you also don't want to be too like that concise or simple.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know what I was doing the whole time. And I tried to get some help from other people. And I don't know. It was almost like I went to a great school. I am not bad mouthing the school at all. I think there wasn't a lot of other kids who were struggling like me with that thesis project.
So you felt alone a little bit.
I felt very alone, and just stuck. Like I couldn't get going. I couldn't find my groove with this project, and no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much time I spent on it, if you were to look at my school account and go into my Google Docs, and you would find just like notes and notes, just different documents I just made, just full of sources and notes. And I thought I was going somewhere with it. And like I was taking in so much information, and I feel like I just burned myself out.
Yeah.
I was starting to isolate myself from others because I just wanted to get it done. I just wanted to get it done, be free on the other side. Once I got this done, I would be happy. That was like my mindset.
Yeah.
So I didn't hang out with people. I wasn't doing myself any good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just got into some bad habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you weren't taking care of those other parts of life that you so truly are passionate about, right? Like,
yeah.
Moving your body, being social, being nutritious, and I mean, sometimes like I do the same thing as you. Like I try to look at every article, everything, try to get all my notes, and then at the end, like try to put that into an essay. But like, it's really hard to do that sometimes because you have so much information. You're like, oh, how can I fit everything? And then you gotta prioritize. But then I really like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of thinking that goes into it, and I think that the tough part about what you were telling me was just that you felt alone.
Yeah.
And I wish there was someone in your class that was just like express or said something like, hey, like I feel the same way. And I think these are the things that help me. So that way that kind of could push you. But it's funny, right? Because I know the path that you're on now to be a personal trainer, and you have, a little bit more purposeful and passion into that. But it's funny how, a higher power can kind of push you in a way that maybe isn't meant for you. Did you kind of like feel that way? Like looking back at it now, you're like, I'm so glad that I didn't just hand in something that wasn't maybe my 100%, and now I'm onto something that I feel more purposeful with.
I actually was thinking about that in the car today.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of, that maybe the psychology thing and even going to college wasn't in God's plans for me,
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I don't know, it was so crazy, just like the amount of blessings in the direction I got this summer. Like, I left school in April. So April. I was going to graduate in May, but only if I got that thesis done.
Wow.
So I was there, bro. I was there, and I tried pushing through.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like pushing up against like a titanium wall.
you
know? But I got back home, and I'm like, you know what? I made the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
I made the right decision. I'm embarrassed. Yes. I'm embarrassed that I couldn't finish my degree, and I spent, 4 years there, and it wasn't a waste of time. It wasn't. I made great connections with teachers and friends, and I learned so much, and my faith grew. But I think you hit it right on the nose that I think God has something else in store for me.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I think the trajectory I'm going right now, I think it would be worthwhile to, go to UConn and finish up and get that psychology degree, because I think that's an important element when it comes to working out. I mean, mental, those,
right.
Health is health is mental, it's physical, it's emotional,
Yeah.
spiritual. So yeah, dude, I think I'm viewing that whole situation in a new light now, in a more positive light than I did.
Yeah.
Which I'm super grateful for.
Yeah. What mindset shifts did you have to do to be able to feel the way that that you're feeling right now? Because I can only imagine that there's some people that are listening or in our community that like have done the same thing as you, like dropped out and have that feeling of an embarrassment and are kind of stuck. What are some things that helped you in that way to be where you are now?
I kept like having this feeling like, oh, if I'm not getting my degree, this was such a waste of my time. I was angry at the school for not giving me like at least associate's degree, because I had been there for 4 years.
Right.
Or at least like let me skip the thesis, let me just get my liberal arts education, just like a generic liberal arts education, liberal arts school. And I was just like, I was angry and thinking that was just such a complete waste of time. And I had a couple people in my life just, when like you're talking to people and within the same week, just like their advice for you is the same thing that somebody else said. It's just like reoccurring, and you're like, all right, this has got to be true then.
Yeah.
What they were telling me was like, be grateful for what you learned. Like, you probably grew so much throughout those 4 years. And I did. I definitely did. And I think that was important to realize that, okay, I learned from this, whole thesis debacle. I learned, what I'm like when I'm depressed, and what I need during that time, what I don't need. So yeah, I think just, to believing that it wasn't all for nothing. Knowing that, everybody's got a different path, and I know that's something everybody says, but it's true. It's true. You don't have to finish your college degree in 4 years. I know that's the set schedule, but finish it whenever you're ready. Yeah, I think that's some of the ways I've been reframing how I view that whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of good points because, when we are brought into this type of society, maybe it's just, in the US, and how it's like, oh, like you have to go to 4 years of high school and then 4 years of college, and after that get a job, and after that get married, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's a lot of pressure to put on us as human beings, because we feel like if we don't do that, then we're not normal. And then if we feel like we're not normal, then we feel like we're not good enough. And when you kind of have that rolling ball psychologically, I feel like that's where a lot of people find themselves depressed, because they're like, oh, like I'm different. And, there's other people that can reframe it or put it in a perspective of like, oh, I'm just built different. That's saying I'm just built different because it means something that like, oh, you're successful in a different way. But at first, when you feel different, feel like an outcast, it's very, like you said, it feels like you're pushing a titanium, ball up a big hill, right? And it's like you just have to understand that your pathway, and if you do believe in a higher power too, like your pathway may be a lot different than someone else's, and you just got to put faith in that. And how you grew up, how you were raised, like there's so many different factors where like your pathway absolutely cannot be the same, and we just all have different thoughts. And I'm getting so like emphasis on it's okay to have a different pathway, because I've talked to people where they've gone to a depressive state of mind because they're they're seeing their other friends be quote unquote ahead of them.
Yeah.
But you don't know what possibly like, what you're doing now and can propel yourself even more successful than them. I know that's not one of your motivations, but like, you never know, right? And then you can look back and just be like, wow, like I'm so glad I went through all that. And this would have happened if you just decide to stick it out and like just get through it, but then you might be just unhappy for most of the time, right? I mean, you can see a lot of things where people say, oh, I find love at 40, or I became a millionaire at 50. Like we all want to do things on the earlier end, but like there just is no traditional pathway at this point. And I feel like talking to people and like seeing things online, like it's just, if you have the will, if you have faith in what you're doing, like there's gonna be a way, right? And you're gonna get there. Something that really jumped out to me as you were talking about when you were in that negative state of mind was, you are all or nothing, which is great, which is honestly really great. But that also could be your Achilles heel. And I've been there too. I've been there where I was a perfectionist and like I have to give everything my all. But there was a time in my life where I had to give myself to friends. I had to give myself to family. I had to give myself to school. I had to give myself to basketball, in high school. And I was being pulled in so many different directions to the point where I just broke. And like, I was running on 3 hours of sleep. I was not doing things for me. And the reason why I did that is because I had an all or nothing mentality. It has to be perfect or else I fail. So I did give myself a lot of grace in that circumstance. And I just want to kind of give that more of like a piece of advice of like, yeah, I understand like you want to give everything 100%, 110%, and like that's good. That's amazing. You should be doing that. But just understand some days like your 100% could look like 20% or 50%. You know what I mean? And that's still like your best, and that's all we can do. And just because it's not all doesn't mean you're failing. It's just that however that day is, whatever that day brought you, is just different than the day where you could have brought 100%. So just wanted to give you some reassurance on that standpoint, because I think you deserve it, right? I think you're gonna go along on this path that you're on, and you're gonna feel that multiple times. And God or a higher power is just gonna keep testing you until you finally get yourself to realize that the all or nothing cognitive distortion of your brain can really be a detriment to you if you're not being self-aware of it. Yeah, dude. I think I've always been like that, just like that all or nothing kind of thing, 110% since I was a kid. And I think it's funny, it kind of correlates with sports. Like I used to go on the soccer field. I was in rec and I would just run my butt off, dude, to the point where I was like, dry heaving, and my coach is like, what are you doing? Like, stop running so much. And yeah, I think it's definitely a skill I'm still trying to learn. Like, just, you can't have one speed all the time. Yeah.
You can't spread yourself too thin. You gotta give yourself grace. Dude, I heard give yourself grace all the time when I was going through that.
Yeah.
Like talking to my counselor and my parents, like they're telling me, you are so hard on yourself, like you gotta love yourself before. So if you love yourself first, like, so you can love others, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget the saying, but
I know what you got.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's like, how are you gonna be able to give 100% of yourself if you're not even feeding yourself?
Yeah. No, it's true. It definitely is true. But yeah, I appreciate that advice. That's good sound advice right there.
Appreciate it. Let's dive into where we talked about how like you connected your mom with your favorite superhero being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you told me before today about how the loss of your mom has really shaped you to the person that you are. And like a cliff note, like short story, or like in a sped up way, like what happened with your mom, and how have you dealt with that loss? Because I know you're still going through it today as well.
Where to begin? It's my mom has definitely shaped a lot of who I am today. She was somebody who had a strong moral code. She when she got sick, so she was diagnosed with ALS in 2014. But she had slowly been, ever since I was born, kind of slowly physically declining. Just not being able to walk and ending up in a wheelchair and then struggling to speak. But yeah, dude, when she was diagnosed, she really dug deep into her faith, and just really got close with God. And there was this strength that flowed through her during that time that none of my family had. We were all, just tired and devastated, learning that she had a terminal illness. But she kept us going. She had the energy. And she's the last person we expected that energy to come from, We, maybe expected it from my dad or from my grandparents. But no, it was her. And she just loved so hard, and she really fought to stay alive for us and spend as much time as she could with us and say goodbye in the right way. And she did. She led me to I think a great relationship with Jesus Christ. And she it encouraged me to continue playing sports, and she instilled that love of sports for me and working hard. That comes directly from her. And persevering through anything. Dude, I couldn't imagine being confronted with that illness and being trapped inside a body that once was so working for you. And she had a lot of fun back in the day. She loved adventures, and then she was just stuck in a wheelchair, bro. And so yeah, just strength and not taking things for granted, just enjoying life. And yeah, dude, there's so much I can say. There's so much that comes from her. And I can't say enough about her. She was an amazing lady. And I look forward to seeing her one day again. So
yeah, I know your mom's definitely looking down at you and is very proud of the man that you're becoming, for sure.
Thanks, man.
I do want to touch base on dealing with loss. We go through phases of life with loss, whether that's loss of a parent, what's it called, also an intimate relationship too, losing a partner, or just even losing a job or anything like that. What has helped you deal with loss over these years?
It was so important to have such a supporting circle of people after losing my mom. I think that was huge for my healing. Healing takes time, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You definitely, if you want to come out okay on the other side, you gotta let grief take its course. So yeah, I think it's important to have a support system. I think it's important to give yourself that time to grieve, however that looks like for you. I think it's different for everybody. I think I leaned on others a lot during that time in my grieving, and Um, I think, my sister was huge in that. She's 2 years older than me, but she was a rock through it all. And my dad and my Aunt Dawn and my grandparents, there was just a lot of people that surrounded our family and cooked meals for us. Dude, so many members of the Apostolic Christian Church in our town, the Swiss church.
Yes.
Dude, we wouldn't have to cook dinner. Like they would bring it on over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know, death is gonna confront all of us. We're gonna be faced with losing people, and I'm nervous for it.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
I hope that God's preparing me for it. It's hard, dude. I'm sorry I can't give you more than that, but I mean, how about you? I want to hear about how what do you think is important for loss and grief?
I think what you said, community, is important to lean on. To have that kind of community, you have to have built a good surrounding circle with you. And life, I don't think, is meant for you to do it alone. Like, we are supposed to be in a tribe, in a community where we can uplift each other in times of need. I'm trying to go through my experiences with loss, and that has been the biggest one for sure. I think the other thing is, I don't want to say like make your mind busy, but like having a purpose, right? And depending on what the loss was, like how you can use that to drive your purpose every day. And I think you're doing that, right? You're living through the values of your mom. And like, I know, one of your dreams is to open up a gym, and I know you're gonna feed that from the morals and values your mom gave you as well. And how you live every day, you're taking advantage of the body that you have. And it's just kind of taking what that person or pet or whatever it is like taught you, and pushing yourself forward with those things. And it's a hard thing to do, because it's always going to come up in your mind of how that loss happens. But I think it's more of like maintaining a healthy relationship with it. And that's with loss, that's with grief. And I feel the best way to do that is just talk it out with someone, and have them understand. Just having someone to just talk to you about it, being, hey, like I'm feeling sad about this, and you also figure out what you need, right? So if you have that feeling of loss or grief, you're like, okay, I gotta go on a run, or I gotta hit the gym, or I got to listen to music, or I gotta start writing. But also acknowledging like, hey, like I'm feeling sad about this, and that's okay. But what am I gonna do after I give myself time to acknowledge those feelings to keep moving forward? And I think I talked about this on our call before, but it's a hard pill to swallow, but life is not going to stop for no one. It's not. And you just have to find that thing that will like push you forward step by step. Even if it's the tiniest step forward, it's still a step forward. So I don't think I offered a very impactful advice, but I think through my experiences, like that's what's helped me to deal with the loss that I've gone through. Yeah.
No, dude, I think finding a purpose is important to that. Yeah. And I liked your point about you saying to embrace that feeling, we call them negative feelings, but
they're feelings.
Yeah, they're feelings.
Yeah.
You got to just let that sit for a little bit. Allow yourself to feel that. You need to feel that. And I think a lot of people maybe want to reject that feeling, and but I don't think that's helpful. I don't think it's beneficial to reject it. You know,
Yeah.
emotions are powerful, bro. They could plow through your blocks you're putting up and just
Yeah.
they'll come out in some way.
Yeah. Whether it's in the way that you think it is, or it's going to be another way that you're going to cope. And yeah, I mean, I feel like those people that kind of reject those feelings at first, or we use unhealthy ways to cope with them, whether that's, you know, through alcohol, through meaningless sex, or you know, just things that are not good for us, you know. And we just have to take time to acknowledge it and let us feel it, because the more you push it away, the more time it's gonna be there to really impact you, right? And yeah, I mean, I was trying to reject it when I was going through depression, and where that left me, my emotions, my brain was like, nah, you just gotta shut down. And I did. Like I couldn't, like I wanted to get out of bed, but I couldn't, because I kept pushing away, like, oh, like I'll acknowledge it later, or I'll feel these feelings later. That still just led me to my body being like, yeah, no, you're done. Like we need to just stop and let you cry it out, or whatever it is. So yeah. Basically what we're saying, feel your feelings. So I know we just kind of talked about, you know, obviously dealing with loss, and I know your mom, you know, you lived through, not that you lived through your mom, but you carry a lot of her values into your life now. I know offline also you talked about how that kind of not sent you, but you identified that you had OCD and that you went to therapy for it. Haven't had a lot of conversations or experiences where people have gone to therapy for OCD. So can you kind of like talk to me about your experience, starting from like, you know, when you identified you had OCD, and like how therapy has kind of helped that?
Yeah, so my OCD kind of showed its face when my mom was sick. It started as prayers. It was like repetitive prayers. I would have to say, you know, the same prayer over and over again. It was like stuff like, please heal my mom from her disease, you know, simple stuff like that. But just over and over again, multiple times a day. And I had to say it out loud. I had to have an audience, whether it was my mom or my dad. And then it was after I said that I was like, okay, I can breathe. And yeah, it just continued to get worse even after she passed. It was like if I didn't say it, something bad would happen. You know, that's how it usually goes. I think OCD it's a form of anxiety, and yeah, I think I think my dad was getting frustrated that, you know, I would have to keep calling him over and having to say the same prayers. I mean, obviously he was concerned for me, more than anything, but I think it was also frustrating, you know, like he didn't really have time to
do that.
do that.
Yeah. And
you
he's
know?
going through his own like grief and loss
Yeah,
too.
he was. And yeah, so I at some point in the aftermath of my mom's passing, I started going to therapy. So this was when I was 12.
Wow, 12. Wow.
I'm trying to think what it looked. I think it was a lot of. It was like you ever hear like play therapy,
No.
like sandbox therapy? It's almost like it's for kids.
Yeah.
Especially when you're struggling to really articulate like how you're feeling and like describe that. There's a lot of research out there that kids are able to show how they're feeling through their play. So like she would give me action figures, my therapist, and then a play box, and, you know, just a variety of different action figures that I could choose from.
Yeah.
And then she would ask me like, oh, hey, why is Superman, why is Superman, or who does Superman represent, and who does Superman remind you of? That's just an example. Why is that Lego guy hitting that other guy? You know what I mean? So I think, I don't know if that's an OCD specific. I don't think it's an OCD specific exercise. I want to say a lot of my therapy was just me talking and just venting.
Yeah.
I think the therapist asked me, a lot of questions like, what would happen if you didn't do this,
Yeah.
Because I think my OCD developed into, foot tapping before I went into the shower and just specific things. And I remember getting so frustrated at myself that I needed to do that. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Just like take a shower normally, but I was, you're just stuck, and it's such a powerful compulsion. And yeah, I think talking through it was big for me. I was put on Prozac, and I think that also helped me. It just it's used for OCD.
It's supposed to just help you like calm yourself.
It's a SSRI, I believe.
Okay.
Serotonin. Shoot. What's the other S?
Even this is the first
serotonin.
Time I've heard I know what serotonin is. That's the first time I heard SSRI.
Reuptake inhibitor. So it basically leaves more serotonin in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
I should know this. I'm a psychologist. I would have a psychology degree. But yeah, so that definitely helped just calm down the obsessions, or more the compulsions, like feeling like I needed to do it. And I think at some point, and I wish I remember this more specifically, but I was able to say, no, like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, everything's okay. I think I needed to I think therapy was big because it stabilized me. I think I was on like, I think my therapist described it to me kind of like PTSD a little bit, like in the sense that you're just on high alert all the time. I couldn't trust the world around me at that point in my life, just because it just seemed so turbulent. Like anything could happen, like bad things could happen at any point in time, what if my dad gets in a car accident now? What if my dad gets sick? What if I get sick? You know what I mean? So I think I always had my head on a swivel.
Yeah.
I think just some growth needed to happen at that point in my life. It was such a foundational time in my life, just to like, that's when you like, you're going through puberty, and I think it was a tough age to lose my mom, honestly. I think it would have been, it's tough regardless.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And I don't mean to, say my story is harder than anybody else's because of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it was just, I was really forming into a young man at that point. So I think that kind of stunted my growth a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think sports helped me through that. I think eventually, once I got a better relationship with prayer and my faith that wasn't like OCD based, that was big. That was big for me, because it felt like praying to this day still feels like, all right, I need to do it, like kind of like a burden sometimes. You just want to like crawling to bed. And
Yeah, sometimes you're just that tired.
Yeah,
but,
you know.
Yeah, understandable.
So I still struggle with that, but yeah, that's kind of what I can give you on my OCD. I think I still have it in some ways today.
Mm-hmm.
I think it presents itself not in the same way that it once did. I think it looks like just I think we all want control of our life.
Yeah.
And I think OCD is a response to that lack of control, not having control.
Yeah.
So I find myself, especially when I'm in hard situations. So when I was at school during the whole thesis thing, I would do laundry twice a week. My room was so clean, so organized.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt like a win to me. That was just like something I could control. It was some way that I was productive during the day. And I know like when a lot of people think of OCD, it's usually like the, hand scrubbing, like cleanliness.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways, like being organized is like kind of meets that stigma. I mean, OCD is like that in some ways, but there's definitely like other ways it shows its face.
Right. Yeah. How did you, sorry to interrupt you, but how did, because I know you said sports helped you out, but I'm actually surprised only because in sports, like, especially as a player, you have your own superstitions. Oh, yeah. So you have to do those things in order to believe or just have a little bit more confidence or believe that you're going to be successful on that day. You know what I mean? Like I would TMI, but I had pregame shits and I always had to make sure I had to, use the bathroom before the game because I was like, well, this is part of my ritual. I had to listen to the same song. I had to eat the same Subway sandwich before a game. Yeah. And like, I thought that would present another challenge to you as you were going through sports, especially with that OCD thing, like having the need to do certain things in order for you to make you feel safe. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I don't have too much knowledge on OCD or, studies and stuff like that, but I feel like you said OCD is like a form of, anxiety because, we're doing, like, we just want to feel safe at the end of the day. Like our brain's literal intention is for us to be safe. Yeah. And sometimes like our brain could do something really extreme to make sure that we're safe or make us feel like we're not safe. When in reality, that's not a big deal at all. Like I've never shared this story on the podcast before, but there'd be some songs that I wouldn't listen to or intentionally skip on my playlist because I genuinely thought if I listened to that, something bad would happen. And those are some good songs. And I was ripping myself of joy of songs that I liked just simply because I felt like something bad was going to happen. And the thing that really helped me at that time was, honestly, it wasn't until therapy now, like for like the 4 years of therapy from 2020 to 2025. And my therapist was like, okay, like, well, what if you didn't do that? Like you're a therapist at that time. Like what happened? And I'm like, oh, like, this bad thing will happen or this bad thing could happen. But she was like, okay, factually, like what would happen? And I was like, I think nothing. And then she was like, yeah. She's like, you can't control all of the bad things that happen in our life. The only thing we can do is react to them. And I don't know how life made it this way, whatever, but somehow when those things happen, something bad happens. But like, I think it's just a coincidence. It's always like, there's always bad things, good things happening in our life. And when we want to control it, like we just always label that as like, oh, this bad thing happened in the world because it wasn't even just around my life. It was like in the world. Like that's how severe, like I was putting those two correlations together. And in reality, it's just like, no, that just so happened to be at that time. And I think another part of it that has really helped me was as I'm talking, I'm like, did I have OCD? Or like, kind of the same, events or feelings that you were going through. And what really helped me was like, no, I really believe you attract what you put out. So if you do that thing or you don't do that thing and you believe something bad is going to happen, then something bad is going to happen because you're going in that mindset that the next thing that happens is going to be bad. And then you're going to react to it poorly versus like, okay, I did that thing or didn't do that thing and that's okay. But what's really the worst like case scenario and stuff like that? Obviously I wouldn't want to, apocalypse and all stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like, but like how realistic is that? And it's just being real with yourself of, okay, this bad thing happened. Was it because of I didn't do that certain thing or I did listen to that song that I wasn't supposed to? No, it's just something that kind of sprung up in your life and you're supposed to react to a lot of events in your life differently. That's how you're supposed to go through it. I butchered this quote on a different episode and I'm kind of mad at myself that I did it wrong, but it's life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So it really is your perspective and what you put out is what you get back. And I really do believe like there is a higher power that's kind of feeding that, as long of the energy that you're giving out. So yeah.
It's a good quote. That's a little stoicism.
Yeah. I love being holistic and stoic. Like I don't know. There was a time off tangent. There was a time where I didn't believe time was necessary to heal. I was like, well, if you have control to do something about it, like you should do something about it. But those things, the grief and loss, like it really does take time. And it took me a while to kind of understand that, to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think going back to answering your question about sports, right? I think it was hard to play baseball when I was struggling with my OCD, just because baseball especially is surrounded by superstitions.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you ever watch a certain batter.
Yeah, they do certain things.
They do like some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching Dustin Pedroia on the Boston Red Sox, just like all the facial things he would do before he swings and how many bat swings he would do. And so yeah, that was kind of difficult for me to be in that environment and go up to hit and, wanting to succeed.
Yeah.
So I think it was easier for like sports like soccer and basketball, which became my main sports eventually, because I don't know, there was less sitting around.
Yeah.
I needed to almost like not think about my compulsions and play the game. My team needed me. My team needed me right there, right now, and I need to move. And I think that's why movement has always been good for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes your mind off things, and that's not to say I didn't struggle with OCD at my peak during sports. I found myself sometimes like repeating prayers in my head, while I was on the field and I wasn't having the ball, or while my coach was talking or something like that. But yeah, I think sports just, I don't know, sports taught me a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Sports taught me a lot, and it was definitely, I think the therapy helped me more. I think the therapy helped me to just not feel those compulsions in sports anymore, which was huge, because I wasn't enjoying the sports when I was like feeling that burden to do stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I was disconnected from the game. So,
and the love that you had for it.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that when I'm backing on that time, even though I did all those things like for basketball, right, ate the right Subway sandwich, listened to the set of music, did the same dribble routine, shooting routine, my senior year was like probably one of the worst basketball seasons that Ellington, I don't know, maybe saw, or it just felt like it. I mean, we only got six wins out of four, like 6 wins out of a 20 game season.
That's a tough season.
So like, even though I did those things, we still lost. So like, I don't know why I kept doing it as if it was actually going to work. You know what I mean? And I wish I kind of realized that earlier in the season, but like, it just shows like, no matter what you do, there's gonna be things that you just can't control.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, that's okay. And we just have to live life through reactions and being proactive in the way that we want to, right?
Yeah.
I think a really foundation of being the highest version of yourself is being proactive and being intentional with what you do. It's not about sitting around being on autopilot throughout life, because life is not going to hand you things. And to even be in this life, or wake up the next morning, is a privilege. And you need to take advantage of every single day. And especially, just for example, I live in New England, like in California, you can get sunny days almost every day. But here, like, we had 60-degree weather the other day, and it's summer. It's like, dude, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, so now I really try to push myself to be outside, take in the sun, because it's a blessing to really go through, to have at the end of the day. I just think it's I'm just reflecting on it now, and it's so crazy how I thought that would be my formula to being like, oh, we're gonna go undefeated. And clearly life shown me like, hey, no matter what you do, like, this is gonna be the outcome.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's just wild to me as I'm thinking about that now.
Yeah. I almost find it comforting now, as somebody who once thought the world revolved around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That we are so small. We are so small. And I mean, and it kind of like, not that we're less important,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think God has a plan for every single person. I know that. But we can't influence that much in our lives. We can only, we have our circle, we have our territory that we can have some influence on. But even like, I've been trying to get better at this, because I think I've always been like somebody who wants to change and help people, or think like I know what's best for them.
Yeah.
But like, you can't change people.
No, you
like,
can't.
And even people in your direct circle. And so that's even more like, there's not a whole lot of, things that we can control. And just kind of that acceptance of that. It's hard. It goes against our nature.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, man, I mean, couldn't have said it perfectly in a perspective that can kind of give ourselves, that we put pressure on ourselves too, like me and you, a little bit more at ease.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, man, I just want to say thank you for, your time coming on here, driving all this way here. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Dude.
And to hear your story, to just be, I just want to feel honored that in your presence and how you're talking about certain things, like, it really is, a blessing to be able to experience. So I want to say, thank you for your time and coming on and just, sharing everything. And I'm glad we got to connect, through Nick, who was a past guest on this podcast.
My pleasure, dude. It's great honor to be here, and really enjoyed talking to you. So
thank you, man. All right, let's get into questions from the audience. So I have, there was one that you already answered throughout episode. The other one is, this is a little fun one. They said, what is the most tasteful movie you've seen?
Oh, tasteful.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, so interpret that as you will. Like,
I think if I had to pick one, I hate when people ask me like certain like movies, because I've watched plethora of them.
Yeah.
But I think like a movie that just gets me like pumped up to like live life is have you ever watched the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
It's like a Christmas movie. But yeah, it's very deep, and it's an older movie actually. But
sometimes those are the best.
Yeah, it's just a classic.
Yeah,
it's just a classic, and really get you thinking about your purpose here and what would happen to the people around you if you weren't here anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess that's another movie I need to add to my list to watch.
Yeah.
So this is a segment that I do on my show that I've been doing recently. And basically, I don't have a name for it yet. I should find a name for it. I've been doing a lot of them. But basically, I reached out to Nick because obviously Nick was a connection. And I asked him just to write something short, quick, for just to say how much, you've impacted him as a friend. Wow. And yeah, I wish I ran out of printer paper, but I'm going to give you my phone and have you read the letter out loud. And yeah, we'll talk about it afterwards. So,
all right. How much you pay him to do this? Because he wouldn't do this out of the goodness of his own heart.
Yeah, he asked for a hefty price, about $100. I'm just kidding.
All right. Jackson, I just want you to know how much I value our friendship. You've always been one of the most genuine people I know, and I hope that never changes. I'm proud of the person you're becoming and everything you're working towards. You're getting closer to finally beating me in any sport, but not sure if that'll ever happen. Keep trying. Most importantly, I'll always be here for you. Love you, brother. Wow. Thanks, bro. That's real nice.
Yeah, so
sometimes you can be nice. But you had to add something mean in there.
Yeah, he had to. That's just, that's sometimes those are the best relationships when you can do that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, dude. Big shout out to Nick and the DeRocher family. They're pretty awesome, and really they live in the same neighborhood as me, and
oh, gotcha.
They really took me in when times were hard. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do this segment because I think on a daily basis, when you go through life, you're working real hard. You're moving, you're flowing how you should in life. And sometimes we just forget about how impactful we are to other people. And I think the main reason why is because we don't really tell people that enough. We don't tell people how much they mean to us. We don't, we do, but not as frequently, I think, as we should. So because of that, we lose how much we lose the knowledge and the knowing of how much we impact people. And because of that, I feel like that sometimes leads us to really dark thoughts where we're like, oh, if I were to leave this world, then nobody would care. That's one of them.
Bro, that's literally the wonderful life, and it's
there it is. This is a full circle moment here.
It is.
And also just, how that could lead us to feel like we're not good enough. So that's the reason why I do it, and the reason why I want to kind of put that as part of my, part of this show, because it's something that we need to really push out into the community and viewers. And I want to make sure my guest knows how much of an impact that they have on other people, and that's why they're here. So I just want to get your thoughts on that. That letter from Nick. It's short and sweet, but had that little element of your guys' relationship there too.
No, dude, I really like that idea. That's sweet. And you definitely lose sight of your impact on others, for sure. You just get caught up in how you view yourself, and I'm my biggest enemy. I'm my biggest critic. So it's nice to hear from others just what you mean to them. And I don't believe it. I'm not that good to Nick.
I would have asked, your partner, but I don't know how I could have reached her. That would have been really cool, but I don't know how it would have gotten that avenue at that point.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but Nick is we're close too, so we're brothers. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just want to get into the last 3 questions. These are the big 3 questions that can leave the final impact based off, everything we talked about today with our viewers. And the first question I have for you is, if you could sit down with a younger Jackson, what would that interaction be like? What advice, what actions, what would that be like?
I don't think we'd sit. I think we'd do something active, but like something where we'd be able to talk as well. Maybe kick a soccer ball around a little bit. Just because I feel like movement is good to get your brain thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other day when I was talking to you, like we both went on a walk.
Yeah.
And things were just flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd be passing the soccer ball with him, and I think I'd tell him to be patient, and wait on God, because He's a God of multiplication. Like when He blesses you, He really blesses you. To be kind to yourself, because I think that's something I've always struggled with. I think to just not care less, but just I don't know, just don't think so hard sometimes. I've just always been a really deep thinker, super intentional about things, and that's good. That's good in certain situations, but sometimes it's nice to just live,
Yeah.
just live, to be human, to just enjoy this journey and people around you,
Yeah.
the people around you, and just the opportunity that every day presents. I think those are the few things I'd say to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are all great things that I feel like our younger selves would needed at that time, but we didn't know. My second question to you is, what does becoming the highest version of yourself mean to you, and how are you doing that today?
I think the highest version of myself, I'm never going to reach that. I think it's an ongoing journey. I hope I have the same drive and motivation for, like, I would say I'm obsessed with growth. I think I love growth. Like, it's so cool to see.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see sometimes, though, that you've grown.
Right.
Unless other people point it out, you know what I mean? But I think what it looks like to me is, I think it looks like balancing. You gotta fill up all your buckets. You gotta fill your spiritual bucket. You gotta spend time in prayer. Connect with other believers. Your physical bucket, you got to make sure that's filled. Working out or just getting body moving, however that looks for you, right?
Yeah.
Emotionally, talking through what's bothering you, journaling, trying to get better at journaling, bro. I need to get on that a little more. Got a lot up here, and it's just like when you get it down on a piece of paper, there's just really connects you to yourself. But yeah, I think trying your best, and sometimes one gets filled more than the other,
Yeah.
But resetting and finding that balance, maybe if it's one day a week, just hitting all. I'm sure there's so many buckets so many different buckets, but those are the 4 that I really think of, or 3, whatever. But so what was the second part of your question?
How are you doing that today?
Yeah. Trying to read more, trying to journal, and stay in touch with my friends, reach out to other people.
Yeah. No, all good things to fill.
Yeah.
I think healthy buckets in our life too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we need as our own human beings.
Yeah.
And my last question to you is, if you could connect me with someone to come into this podcast that you think would be great, who would it be and why?
Yeah. I think I would recommend Andy Heyman.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Andy?
Yeah, I know the Heyman brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's been a while since I've heard that name. Holy crap.
Really? Yeah, dude. Andy is a really close friend of mine. And he's just so full of knowledge and just so insightful. He's a guy who I really enjoy talking with one-on-one. He's just so, he can talk to anybody. He gives you his all. Like, he's locked in on that conversation. He is interested in what you're saying. And I think, and he's way smarter than me, dude. He can have some seriously good conversations with you. He's also, he just passed his CPA.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah. Guys can connect over accounting a little bit.
I'm sure there'll be no accounting talk after.
Or not. Yeah. He doesn't need to talk about accounting. Yeah, but Andy Heyman, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I got his contact, so hopefully I can make it happen in the future.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Sure.
Again, Jackson, I just want to say thank you again, man. I appreciate you. Stay connected. Whatever I can do to help you on your journey, just let me know. And I know you'll do the same for me.
Of course, dude.
Again, I appreciate your time. Appreciate everything here.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right, guys. If you liked any part of this episode, please clip it, tag me and Jackson in it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when an episode comes out. And as always, let's fall in love with the process of getting better every day and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Love y'all.